Alrighty, time for burgers today. I've been hanging out for a good burger with no funny business going on, just meat, cheese, and a little bit of pickle. Obviously, we're going to make our own burger buns. I've made a video on this previously, but it's going to be a little bit different. Not too much, just a little bit different today. So you're going to need some flour. I've got some bread flour here. I have used all-purpose before, but I had bread flour in the cupboard, so I'm going to use that. I've got some potatoes I've just boiled and then put through a ricer. And then I've got some milk, egg yolk, butter that's soft. I've had it out for a few hours so it gets nice and soft. And in here I've got sugar and salt. Also keep your egg whites because we're going to use those to put on the buns later to give them a nice little sheen. And you can use dry yeast, but I have fresh yeast here. That's for the buns. Now to put in the burger, obviously I've got some meat here from Mavihof. It's really good minced meat. Then I've got a couple of different cheeses here. I'm not exactly sure, but I've got obviously American cheese that is going on my burger. Rebecca, she likes the cheddar, and I've also got some Emmentaler in the back that I might put a piece of American and some Emmentaler. I'm not too sure yet, but we'll get there when it comes to it. Also some pepper, and I've got some miso paste here that I'm going to mix in with the mince when we make the patties. And then I've got some homemade pickles here that we're also going to put on there. Alrighty, so make the bread. You want to get your milk, put that in first, and you got your flour, bang that in, got your salt and your sugar, then got your yeast. I'm just going to crumble that up. Got your egg yolks and the potatoes. Obviously you could mix this all by hand, but nah. Yeah, you might as well go ahead and buy yourself a little mixer. It makes things much, much easier. So, just start off nice and slow, and we'll start mixing that all in together. Alright, once you've doughs just come together and everything's mixed through, if you forgot to take your butter out, and it's fresh out the fridge, just melt it a little bit on the stove or in a microwave or whatever you got. But mine's really soft at the moment, so now's the time you want to add the butter. Just go on. Bang that in. And then you're going to keep mixing this for about another 6 to 7 minutes, and then we'll see how it is. Alright, after about 7 or 8 minutes, if you look at, the dough's, it's way too sticky at the moment, so I'm just going to add a couple more tablespoons of flour, about 2.5, and then just going to continue mixing it until it all starts coming away from the sides of the bowl. Alrighty, once your dough starts coming away from the sides of the bowl, you want it still a little bit sticky. You don't want it completely dry. Just want to scrape your hook down, and then move your mixing machine out the way. Go ahead and dump out your mixture. Just get a little bit of flour on your hands. And you want to go ahead and make that into a nice tight little bowl. You don't want too much flour on your table while you do this. I put a little bit too much, but it'll be all right. And you want to get another bowl. Just a little bit of oil in it. Go ahead and plop that there. Now you want to cover that with some Glad wrap, and then put it in the. I found the best place to put this is in the oven, but just with the oven off, and then we'll let that double in size. Okay, once your dough's risen, about doubled in size, the time's going to vary a lot depending on how hot, warm your place is, what time of the year, all that kind of stuff. But once it's doubled in size, then you know you're ready to do the next step. So I like to get a little bit of flour on my hands. And then what I want to do is I want to weigh the dough so I can get them into equal, it gets about 10. So you want to get your dough out and then just weigh it. And then mine's 965. So I'm going to divide that into 10 equal parts, and then we'll roll them into little bowls, and then they'll be ready for the second proof. Okay, once you've got your dough measured out into your part, you just want to roll it into a nice little taut ball. Sometimes you have to pinch it around like that. And you just want to get it nice and tight into a ball. If you need a little bit more flour in your hands so it doesn't stick, that's no problem at all. And once you got it into a nice little bowl, you just want to put a little bit of flour on the bottom so it doesn't stick in the thing. And then I've got a pan here with some baking paper in the bottom. And once you've done that, you just want to place it into your pan and then carry on and do the rest of the balls. Okay, after you've finished, rolling them all out, all I did was put a tea towel over the top and let them go for about 30 minutes, I reckon. And now all I've done with that's the egg whites from before. I've just put about a tablespoon of milk in and just whisk it with a fork. And we're going to paint that over the top, and that'll give the buns a nice sheen. So go ahead and just paint them all over. Be very careful when you do this not to do it too hard, because otherwise you'll deflate your buns. Okay, once you've painted the egg wash on the buns, if you wanted to, you could sprinkle some sesame seeds in at this point. I'm not. So I've already preheated the oven to 200 degrees with the fan, and we're going to stick them in there for 15 to 20 minutes, and then they'll be done. Okay, now comes the time to make the patties. So as I said before, we got some miso I'm going to mix in there with the patties. Just give it a bit more of a umami bomb. Okay. And then I'm going to put some pepper. Not too much pepper, just a little bit. And some salt. About that much. Then we're just going to mix all this up, and then we'll form the patties. Okay, now I've done the patties all out already. They're about 120 grams each, and I've made sure there's a little divot in the middle of the patties, because when it cooks, it's going to expand in the middle. So if you make a little divot, when they cook, they'll actually come flat instead of being domed like that. I've also got my buns already toasted up. So all I'm going to do now is give the grill a good scrape with the brush. Give it a good squirt with some oil and cook them up. Okay, so after doing all the pictures, now it's the best time, it's to eat it. I've also just made some quick chips, you could say, to just cut them up and stuck them in the oven. That's pretty good. Oh yeah. All the juice is just coming out. Don't need no sauce or mayonnaise, that is amazing.